Ugeni Madonna, Imazedion, Overo, Ovesniagbo, Manazo, or Ugeni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you or your title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
It's true.
ITV, certainly the best.
Welcome to another edition of the program, Hitches and Voices, on independent television and radio. Don't forget, Hitches and Voices is coming to you live on independent television and independent radio. Welcome to today's edition. It promises to be super exciting as I have a very special guest with me in the studio today. My guest is special because her story is inspiring. Her story is that of resilience, determination, and courage. If you've been following us on Hitches and Voices, you know that we've referenced one name a lot, and that is Kindness Idahosa, who survived all odds to become who she is today in life. And we decided that rather than just referencing her story in our program, let's bring her to the studio to come tell her story herself, how she moved from zero to becoming a hero, or in this case, a heroine, how she has moved from grass to grace. Her journey with NAVID is indeed a very inspiring story. I just want you to relax and follow us as we take a ride with Kindness Idahosa. Kindness, welcome to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley.
Okay, like I said in my introduction, we've talked about you on this program. The executive director, NAVID, in previous edition has had the cause to mention you in some of our conversation, how you rose against all odds to becoming who you are today. For the purpose of those who are watching and listening right now, I want you to take us through that journey. Just let us know how your story with NAVID, how it started.
Okay, thank you, Kingsley. My story is simple, but inspiring and baby, just baby. In the year 2000, I became disabled due to a health condition called hereditary sensory motor neuropathy. So in that particular year, I just rounded my GSS2. I was promoted to GSS3. I was attending Asoro Grammar School then, but due to my challenge, I couldn't continue with my education. So I just stopped there in GSS2. That was the year 2000. From that 2000, I was at home doing nothing. It was a painful experience, waking up every day in the same house, watching other kids, going to school, those who are learning one trade or the other, going out to learn their trade. While I was just there, I was more like wasting away. It was a painful experience for me, because at a point, I was thinking, if I have the same opportunity like these other kids going to school or learning one trade or the other, I would be able to excel just the way they were doing, or even better than them. But unfortunately, the opportunity was not just there. So I remained like that for a good 13 years. I was a school dropout, not just due to my disability, but rather due to lack of opportunity as a person with disability. So I was a school dropout from the year 2000 to 2013. In the year 2013, someone introduced me to NAVID. So she told me that she held an advert about NAVID on radio. They were giving a scholarship to persons with disability who, due to their disability, they were not able to sponsor themselves in school. So she asked me if I would be interested. I quickly grabbed the opportunity, because that was the opportunity I was looking for. I did not consider the fact that I've spent so much years at home. I didn't consider the fact that I was going to be the oldest student in that school, probably older than some of my teachers. I did not also consider the fact that people would talk, people would gossip, so a lot of things. But I was just trying all my best to ensure that my life did not just waste. I did not just live a wasted life. Because for me, I was just wasting away at home. I knew my capacity. I knew what I was able to do as a person. Even right from a child, I believed in myself. But things just happened like that. So that year, now I applied for NAVID scholarship. So NAVID was able to enroll me back to school. I went back to Idia College in the year 2013. I started school all over again from JSS2. It was more like a joke. People were talking, saying a lot of things. Is this how you are going to go back to school after dropping out of school for 13 years? You are not going to find your mates, age mates in that school and all that. But I did not listen to all those conversations because I just wanted to be somebody. I don't want to be dependent in life. I just wanted to be myself despite my disability. So NAVID continued my sponsorship all through my secondary school. I completed my secondary school in the year 2017. And I also wrote JAMB the same year. And by the grace of God, my JAMB came out successfully. I wrote the Uniben post-UTME, and my result was also okay. I was offered admission the same year, 2017, to study law in Uniben. By the grace of God, I went through Uniben for 5 years. Yes, but because of the coronavirus and the ASU strike and all that, it was more than 5 years, so there was delay somehow. Thank God I went to Uniben from 100 level till I graduated in 2018. Sorry, in 2023. I graduated in 2023 with a 2-1. From that 100 level till I graduated, there was no carryover. So I went through Uniben successfully, all because of NAVID, because NAVID sponsored my education. Then in 2024, I applied for the Nigerian Law School. Thank God, NAVID was also there. They were one of my biggest sponsors. They provided me with laptop and other financial assistance as well. So thank God I went through the Nigerian Law School and I also came out successfully. And by the grace of God, September 24 last year, I was called to the Nigerian Bar as a barrister and solicitor.
Beautiful.
Of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So today, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of the largest bar in Africa, all because NAVID came to my rescue. So sometimes I'll just sit down and be thinking, I don't know if I would have still been alive. I don't know how my life would have turned out if NAVID had not come to my rescue in that year 2013. So today, I'm glad to be called a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, all because of NAVID.
Wow, I mean, I'm struggling to find the words now, but I'll try my best. I mean, you were out of school for 13 years.
Yeah.
You know, when a child with disability is born, it is often welcomed with shock and disbelief. And sometimes it leads to trading of blames by parents. And what follows after is rejection. And after which the victim resigned to fate. I mean, you were out of school for 13 years. What kept you going? I mean, what gave you that courage, that hope that you could still go back to school and make a meaning out of your life? And what was also responsible for you staying at home for 13 years? Was it because your parents or guardians were not aware that there were opportunities out there? Was it that they decided not to focus on you? They felt it would be a waste of time? you really can amount to nothing? What was responsible for your staying at home? Or could it be that the finance wasn't just there to power your education? These are two questions.
Thank you. Well, first of all, you asked me what kept me going all through this year. Well, I can say the first thing that kept me going was just my faith in God. I'm actually a Christian. And secondly, I read a lot. Then I was just at home. There was one of my church members there. She do supply me. She normally supply me motivational books. So I read a lot, even till now. So then I was always reading one book or the other. If not just for anything else, because I was having this belief that one day, maybe I will have the opportunity of coming out to speak among other students that went to school, among other people that went to school. Because I was not really having that hope that one day I will ever go back to school. I was just reading for self-development. Since there was no opportunity for me to go to school, so I just said, let me be reading and then develop myself. Then, for the other aspects, although I cannot say the money was actually there, the finances wasn't really there, but I cannot really say it is because the finances was not there. Because even though the finances was not there, other of my kids, my younger one, they were going to school. I also have this belief that even if the finances was there, there's no way my parents would have sent me to school. Because they are all, you know, in this part of the world, people hardly believe on persons with disability. The moment they see a disabled child or a disabled person, they have this belief that the person's life is condemned. The person will not be able to do anything again. So my own family or my parents, they were not left out of that belief. Yes, they were not left out. So even as at the time I was applying for NAVI scholarship and all that, I didn't even tell anybody because I don't want anybody to discourage me. It was after everything had worked out, they have enrolled me, when I was going to leave, that I told them that I was going back to school. So as at that point, there was nothing they could do about it.
But did they believe that
they knew they had nothing to lose? They knew they had nothing to lose. So they were just watching me, doing my thing myself, you know. So even, let me tell you, even when I gained admission, I told my dad then of blessed memory, I said, I've gotten admission to study law in Uniben. He was surprised. I was like, law?
All right.
How? Is that what you asked for? How are you going to do it? Can you do it? He was afraid, and I told him, like, those people studying law, they don't have two heads. They have one head, just like myself.
And disability is not a barrier.
I will be able to do it.
Yeah. All right.
So he was like, okay, no problem. Then my problem was not just the disability, it was that lack of opportunity.
Yes.
Yes, which I didn't get from any other place.
All right.
Until NAVI stepped into my condition.
Beautiful. Once more, I want to say a big thank you to NAVI for stepping in. We'll go on a quick break now. We're not done with Kindness Idahosa, proudly to say Esquire. She's telling her story with us in the studio today. We'll go on a quick break. Don't forget the program is Hitches and Voices, coming to you on independent television and radio. All right, I'm beaming with smiles. If you just watched that clip, that was the Edo State as SSG, Secretary to the State Government, proudly announcing that Kindness Idahosa will be given an automatic employment into the Edo State Civil Service. That was on the occasion of the third, the Rights Above Charity lecture, which held on the 3rd of December last year to mark the International Day for Persons with Disability. And that day will be memorable for NAVID and memorable for Kindness Idahosa. Having gone through the university studying law and having gone through law school, NAVID didn't just end there. We had to push, we had to step up the advocacy to ensure that Kindness Idahosa find herself not in the labor market, but within the working population. And today, she is working with the Edo State Ministry of Justice. And so, Kindness, how does that make you feel?
I feel very, very great, and I will forever remain grateful to Navis and His Excellency, the Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for giving me that opportunity to be gainfully employed with the Ministry of Justice, Edo State. So I feel very, very happy.
You know, one of the challenges that persons with disability are faced with, or part of the challenges they are faced with, is that we sometimes have the opportunity to go to school, but getting job becomes pretty difficult. Did you imagine that it will come this quick? Did you imagine that you will graduate and find yourself where you are today?
Of course, I never imagined that it would be that fast. All through the period I was going to school, I just decided not to think about it. Yes, I decided not to think about it, or that we'll get to the bridge, we'll cross. But I never thought it was going to be that easy. It was going to be that quick. So that's why I'm very, very happy, and for all those that made it possible, most especially Navis and the Edo State government. So I will forever remain grateful to them.
So, I mean, there are people who are watching right now, and I'll be wondering, particularly persons within the community of persons with disability, whose story might be similar to your story. You just made us realize that disability can never be a barrier if you put your mind to it, if you focus on what you want to do. What would you be saying to this community of persons? And there are persons without disability who are also watching, who have one challenge or the other. What will you be telling them?
Well, for those out there with one form of disability or the other, I just want you to know that you are not useless. I just want you to know that you can make it. So whenever you have the opportunity, whether to go to school or to learn a trade, or you find yourself working in one place or the other, you don't need to look down on yourself. You just know that you can make it. Disability is never a barrier. Disability is not a barrier. It's just a mindset. It's a mindset. So for persons out there who are without disability, I want you to know as well that persons with disability, they are first of all persons before the disability. They should be treated as human beings. You cannot look at a person with a disability and then be looking down on them as if they cannot achieve anything in life. And you still need to learn from us and give us the opportunity to be ourselves and to actualize our dreams.
All right, let me take you through your university days, going to law school. It looks all rosy, but I'm sure it's not as easy as it sounds or as it seems. We know that for persons who are on wheelchair, accessibility to public buildings, it's one of the biggest challenges that you people have faced with. How was that for you going to school? What were those infrastructural challenges that you went through?
Well, for me as a wheelchair user, the main infrastructural challenges that I went through was that of accessibility. It wasn't that much pronounced in Uniben because in my faculty, they have ramps and the conveniences was accessible. Even the hostel that I stayed, they had special rooms for persons with disability in Uniben, and I stayed in that hostel all through the 5 years.
That's your faculty?
Yes.
Speaking for your faculty now?
No, Uniben hostel. The hostel I stayed in Uniben, they had some reserved rooms there, and it was very convenient for me.
Okay, so the hostels are accessible for persons with disability?
I cannot say all, but the particular hostel that I stayed all through my stay in university was accessible. But when I went to Lagos campus, Nigerian Law School, I had a very big issue with accessibility. Because of the way the lecture hall was built, you have to climb stairs before you can access it. Although they tried to kind of reconstruct a ramp on it, but it wasn't properly made. So I would need up to like 3 persons to lift my chair up before I can access the lecture hall. And if there's any reason for me to go out to ease myself, I would need up to 3 persons, 2. And because of that, I wouldn't want to start stressing people. There's no way I would start calling 3 persons when lecture is going on that I want to go out. So because of that, sometimes I see myself holding urine for like even hours, even when I know perfectly well that it was not good for my health. So that was a very big challenge for me. So even there in the hostel, the Nigerian campus, Lagos, Nigerian Law School, the Lagos campus, the hostel, the conveniences too, it was too narrow. Even the wheelchair cannot enter. Even when I use my walker, can't even enter. So it was just manage. I would just manage the situation all through. So it wasn't really easy for me. Accessibility was a very big problem for me at the law school. But in Unibank, it wasn't that pronounced for me as a wheelchair user. Because I remember a particular course I was offering in the I think, Faculty of Arts. The lecture was to be held upstairs. And because of me, the lecturer assured me that he was going to bring down that lecture. So all through that period, the lecture was held downstairs just for my sake. So it wasn't much an issue for me as a wheelchair user in Unibank. I'm talking from the perspective of someone that studied law, because I'm not too used to other departments, other faculties. So I can't really talk much about the accessibility of this other department. But for Faculty of Law, it was accessible for me as a wheelchair user. Yes, the only part that was not accessible for me was the library. So when I'm accessing the library, I'll still need like 2 or 3 persons to help lift up my chair.
I'm wondering, because I know of a lady who dropped out of school because of similar challenge. She said she was tired of people lifting her up the staircase like a bag of rice. It was dehumanizing. She couldn't continue that on a daily basis, and she dropped out of school. But this didn't matter to you at all?
At all. Because the desire to make it, the desire to be independent, the desire not just to be looking at other people before I can feed. Because of that, I was able to overcome all the challenges, all the stress, all the discrimination wasn't that pronounced in Unibank. Even at the law school, it wasn't pronounced. But every other challenges, I was able to overcome them because of that desire just to become someone in life.
Beautiful. Her determination to become someone in life was what spurred her on to become who she is today. And for you out there, whether you have a disability or not, you can make it if you put your heart to it. It's a wrap on the program today, but before I go, I'd like to say shout out to the Faculty of Law, University of Benin, for making their faculty very accessible for wheelchair users. And I think other faculties within the university can borrow what the Faculty of Law is doing to make their lecture complexes, their hostel, more accessible for persons with disability. We are talking about inclusive education now. And also, I want to say a very big thank you once more to the Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for putting a smile on the face of kindness, Idahosa and the family. I'm sure you are walking the talk when it comes to inclusion and access for persons with disability, as well as the Edo State Secretary, the Secretary of the Edo State Government, for putting all the effort to ensure that kindness is where she is today. And to Navid for making advocacy a reality in Edo State and indeed in Nigeria. I want to say a big thank you to Navid. It's a wrap on the program today. My name is Kingsley Okoje. Kindness once more. Thank you for coming on Hitches and Voices.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley.
We'll do this again. Till then, spot the hitch and be a voice. Goodbye.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
right, guys, it's another lovely Monday evening, and it's my pleasure to have you join me on yet another beautiful episode of the Guys Hangout Show on independent television, reaching you live from that city of bronze. You know, I love to call it that city where the king is truly king. Now, for starters, the Guys Hangout Show is one show that, you know, teaches men to prioritize themselves and, of course, you know, to be the best that they can be, just so that they can give the best that they can give. It airs on this station every Monday. All right, my name is Harry Aigboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, today, we're going to be taking a look at a very, very important topic, you know, something that actually caught my attention of recent. Okay, you know, sometimes you're just going about your daily activities, and then you just, you know, for a second, certain things just cross your mind, and you begin to ask yourself, what has actually changed? What has gone wrong? How come things are no longer the way they used to be? And one of such things is the growing lack of parental discipline in our society as we have it today. What exactly went wrong? Whether you like it or not, you must have noticed that things are no longer the way they used to be, especially between parents and their kids. Those days when we were growing up, some of us had this reverence for our parents, right? Even in their absence. There were things we're not bold enough to do, we're not courageous enough to do, even in their absence, because of, you know, the kind of discipline that they gave us, right? So, for instance, I remember as a kid, I used to live within my boundaries as a child, right? I was not allowed to go to the next compound. Now, that was how I was raised. Not because my parents didn't like me, like us being free, but they just wanted to ensure that, you know, we lived within the boundaries that they set for us. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there can also relate. Now, if you take a look at the parents of today, it doesn't seem to be like that anymore, right? A lot of parents seem to be more flexible in raising their children. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? My name is Harry Aigboje once again, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, like you already know, I'm not alone. I've got an amazing person in the house with me, and together we're going to be taking a look at this topic. Now, he is an educationist and also, you know, a social analyst. He's really passionate about lots of things that are happening around us, and he loves to share his wealth of wisdom and experience on such matters. It's good to have you, Abu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. And as usual, it is good to be on the show today again. It is always a pleasure talking about issues that concerns us in society, especially issues like this, where if we keep quiet, things will get deteriorated and it will get out of hand.
True.
So, yeah, no, bad things try because good men decide to keep quiet.
Absolutely.
So we must say something.
Definitely, we must say something, and that's basically why we're here. I mean, we really can't help not to say something, all right? Now, we're going to be taking a look at this issue as we begin to look at it one after the other, right?
Okay.
Let's look at it from this angle. Parenting is serious business, right? And I don't think a lot of parents realize that, a lot of parents of this generation, because there seems to be this trend of people just giving birth without recourse to the responsibility of taking care of those children. So let's start from there. Why would anybody want to, you know, start having kids without, you know, considering what it will take and what it will cost, you know, to take care of those children?
Yeah, procreation is one biological gift that God and nature has given to humans. So anybody can, any adult who has gotten to a certain stage can procreate, except he or she has a medical condition.
Okay.
But procreation is not a yardstick to be called a parent. So we have so many fathers and mothers who are not parents. Being a parent means you are ready for the job after birth. Birthing a child is your God-given talent or God-given gift.
Your natural ability.
That natural ability. But the idea of training this child, parenting, is a full-time job. I say full-time job because it's one thing that people just overlook, and because of that they think because they are fathers they could be called parents. No. We have so many fathers but few parents. So it's because of these few parents that we have in society that you see there is a growing lack of discipline in terms of parenting and all that. So I think the few parents that we have, if you see their children outside, you can distinguish them from those that have fathers and just mothers. So I think we should be seeing this thing from the idea of who are parents, to be precise.
Okay.
A parent is that person who is a father or a mother and has indulged his or herself into the act of bringing up this child. You know, children, the mind of a child is like a tabula rasa. Whatever you imprint on that mind is what goes a long way to determine what the child will become in life or how the child will behave and all that. But we really have people imprinting these things on the mind of the child. That is the question.
I think that's $1 million question, because this is one question I believe a lot of parents do not ask themselves before they begin to procreate. Like you've rightly established, there's a clear difference between procreation
there is.
and parenting. And I think that's what we need to begin to establish. What exactly is it with parents of nowadays? You know, just like I said in opening, you know, when we were growing up, it was a different ball game, right? We were raised with a very high level of discipline. So much so that parents of this generation will probably see that as you being too hard on your child.
Okay.
Now, what's the place of discipline in parenting? Let's begin.
There are different factors that I think I will tie to this lack of parental discipline. Number one, the infiltration of Western culture into our traditional belief and norms. Secondly, we also have this idea of laziness on the part of some people who call themselves, I use the word who call themselves parents, laziness on their part. And thirdly, there is this idea of the growing new normal, where people advocate that children should be treated with, like adults, they should be treated with kids and gloves and all that, so that you not hurt them. And so after all, they are human beings. So, but let me start with this infiltration of Western culture into our traditional culture. Now, you see, the white men asked us at the time to marry a fellow man, a woman marry a fellow woman. Many of us did not dispute it. Some African countries are already doing that. They also asked us to wear the suit, the sleeve, the waistcoat, the tie and all that, despite our hot weather. Many of us did not also dispute that fact. And we are doing it. But very recently, they are also asking us to treat a child as an adult. And so many parents have started, many fathers and mothers have started treating their child, their children, as adults. That's the problem. They want to train them in the Western way. They want their children to see themselves as adults. They are rushing them through that childhood. They don't want them to enjoy that childhood. They don't want them to see themselves as children. That state of innocence is no longer there. A child that just here, you call that child that you want to reason with the child like an adult. What's his reasoning capacity in the first place? My brother, what is the rationale behind you sitting a child and to say, let's discuss? You are just 4 now. And who told you that a 4 years old is thinking like an adult already? It's not. I know many will say this is a computer age and jet age. Leave that computer age and jet age. Children are children. And most of how were we brought up? We were told that if you misbehave, I will flog you. I have so many parents in my area. My father was not just my father. Yes, he was my biological father, but I have so many fathers. Before my father even come back from his workplace, someone else have disciplined you if you misbehave and all that. Do we still have such in our society? No. You see, everybody wants to say my family.
So you're saying that in those days there was a communal mindset?
A communal mindset. All parents were parents, and all children were children to all parents. Now, these days, you see families saying, you don't touch my child, I know how to discipline my child, you leave this child for me to discipline and all that. So that's why we're getting children are going haywire. Some of them are even going gaga. You know, some of the hairstyle that a 10-year, 11-year-old will put on, you begin to wonder, is this one coming from a home? You see some young girls out there, 11, 10, some of the things they will wear, like, does this one even have fathers and mothers at home? So the issue now is we are drinking too much from this cup of Western wine. I think we should come back home. We should come back to this African tradition. We are Africans. And in Africa, there is discipline intrinsically buried in our totemic mindset. It is on our subconscious. That discipline should be resurrected. That parents should see themselves as not just parents, but as role models, as disciplinarians. Correct these children when need be. Don't reason with a child. It gets to a certain stage, you reason with him, not at this stage. It is some of those things that you imprint on him when he was still a child that will model him into a very good adult. A good child definitely will become a good adult.
Absolutely.
Now, but you lead them, you think they can think of themselves. What you fail to tell them, their friends out there will tell them. And that is what we should avoid. So that idea of Western culture, I think we should come back home. Besides that, sir, this idea of laziness on the part of parents. They think now that you already have a child. So if you can provide for this child, you are performing the work of a parent already. The provision we are talking about here is not just finance. Many of them thought it's just finance. He's attending a very good school, I can provide. If he wants to buy anything, I can give him more. No. Emotionally, psychologically, this child needs you. Morally, you should be there for him. Who are his friends? Do you even know his friends? What are his routine? How does this child carry out his daily activity? You should be your child's best friend. You should have a round table talk most times with him. You should be able to tell him, if you try that, I will flog hell out of you, and he will not try it. Don't let him see himself like an adult already. You hardly even see children these days bathing outside. And someone said it's civilization. I think they know too much.
Okay.
Their parents make them know too much.
So why they've gone past the phase of innocence.
You see that state of innocence? It has been killed. Every child now, the parents have been able to inculcate in them that they are no longer children, but they are now what? Adults. And there is no way a child can behave like an adult. He will be an adult in a wrong form. So let these children grow. Okay. Correct them. Discipline them. Be a disciplinarian. Right. You don't rub men with a child of 5.
Okay. Now, you've actually said a lot. Now, talking about the infiltration of Western culture, just recently I saw a video on Facebook of this American comedian, veteran comedian, Steve Harvey, he was actually interviewing a kid, a 5-6-year-old girl. So he was asking her why she liked her brother, why she loved her brother. And she was saying, well, she loves her brother because, her big brother, of course, because he's always there to protect her and to comfort her when, her parents whooped her. And then, of course, the crowd, reacted in laughter and all of that. Now, I went through the comments as usual, and I saw a lot of persons asking questions, and a lot of people, complaining that it was totally out of place for the parents to, whoop her or to discipline her. And, of course, it became a debate as usual. Now, that pretty much reminds me of something. The fact that this is also becoming a major issue in this part of the world, whether or not to discipline a child. Because some people see the use of corporal punishment as a sign of hatred for the child. That how can you, use corporal punishment for a child that you love? So they see it as, you doing too much. They believe you shouldn't use corporal punishment on your child, that there are other ways. Just like you said, some of them believe you can reason with your child. But how do you reason with a child whose mind is not even matured enough to look at things from that perspective? I think what we have is actually a problem, because people want to mistake smartness, intellectual exposure to maturity. Yeah. And I think that's a problem. I would like you to speak in that regard.
You see, words get their meaning from their context. Okay. What they call maltreatment in a particular context, in another context might be called discipline. So when that people say you are hitting that child too hard, you're beating this child and all that. But I think in the right context, when it comes to my child or any other child, or any other child around me, you should use that right word, discipline. We were once children, sir. They did not kill us.
Of course not.
We are what we are today because of how our parents had to straighten our life. At least our parents are not beasts. They know what they are doing. You don't expect a mother who gave birth to a child to kill that child with her own ends, except she's maniacally derailed and all that. Yeah. When children are being disciplined with love, you can discipline a child with love. There is no need you bringing in ideas of you are abusing the child rights and all that. He is a child, for God's sake. The reason why you are saying I am abusing his right because you want to protect that child. The reason why I even discipline that child is to protect the child also. Now, this is what the government are fighting against, is that you should not assault a child. Discipline will get to an extent, it becomes an assault.
So that's where we need to draw the line now. At what point does discipline become an assault?
When you begin to inflict serious pains,
bodily harm
on this child, it is not an assault.
Okay.
When you are not correcting the child with love, it becomes an assault. When you are doing it with hatred, it becomes an assault. When you forget the fact that this person is still a child, it becomes an assault. But when you are doing it in the circumstances of these things I'm saying, like he's a child, I want to correct him with love, he's my child, and all that, that is discipline. And we should not rule out discipline because some persons are misusing it. I know I am not in line with so many parents or guardians who have decided to inflate pains on children because you want them to listen. No, that is beyond discipline. Okay. That is now an assault. That is now an hatred. That is now a corporal punishment. And if I ask my child to kneel down there, for example, or get a cane and give my child 2 or 3 strokes of the cane for doing something wrong, next time he will not try it. But if you now give a punishment that is more than that child, to that child, then it becomes an assault. An
assault, okay.
You asking a child, for example, you get pepper, rub on the child's body, or give the person some scars, marks, and all that. No, that is wicked and that is evil. But you asking the child to kneel down there, or get a cane, flog this child 5 times or more, as the case may be, and after all this, call the child, next time, don't try it. I am your father, I love you, and that's why I'm doing this. I hope you will not try it next time. Such a child will not try it. But you're not letting the child know the reason why you have flogged him or disciplined him and all that. It is hatred.
Hatred.
So we should draw the line between discipline and hatred. So I am not advocating for that idea of that battering, that corporal punishment. Yeah. I am saying we should not rule out the fact that these children are still children. And children have a mindset that is as clean as a tabula rasa. So we have to imprint something that they will take up into becoming a very good adult.
I guess that's why the Holy Book says that you should train up your child in the way he should go, that when he's old, he will not depart from it. All right, guys, it's still the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television. Just in case you're just joining us, we're talking about the decline in discipline, parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What exactly is the problem? Why is it that, kids are no longer as disciplined as before? Why is it that kids nowadays can just do whatever they want without, their parents or a parental figure, putting them in check? Now, Abu, just a moment ago, you were talking about the difference between correcting in love and correcting, in hatred, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's no longer uncommon to see children just walking past an adult without greeting. And that was actually one of the things that we were taught as, children. And that was exactly one of those values that we grew up with, which is why we cannot see someone who's older than us now
and not greet.
Don't you think that's also a function of this lack of discipline?
The dysfunctionality of the society, that's one of the factor, one of the things we got from the dysfunctionality in the society. Why did I say so? I just told you not quite long that all parents were parents to all children. An elder can call you back and say, so you don't know how to greet. Where are you from? You say, I'm sorry, sir. Good morning, sir. Or in my dialect, you greet according to your family lineage, and you must do that. That's how we grow up. But these days, many parents have restricted themselves from doing that. Before someone else will come somewhere and say, don't talk to my child, it's my child, I know how to train my child and all that. So that communal nature is no longer there. And you can see, that is just a microcosm of the larger one. You could see, apart from this idea of greeting, you could see children, they hardly even get up from the seats for an elder to sit, if that's you listen to many.
That's another dimension to it.
Now, you see some of them, they are very disrespectful. They have begun to euphemize what we call disrespect. You see some of them will say savage reply. What you might want to call obscenity,
I think that's one of the effects of
stupidity, social media. Yeah. You see some of them will say, there's a new one now, we listen, we don't judge.
That's not how we go there.
They are indirectly promoting children to go haywire.
Go wild.
They are promoting this idea of you can always do whatever you want to do. And they are promoting immorality.
And the question we should even be asking is, what do we call judge in this context? Judging is discipline. Discipline we're talking about.
It is a discipline they want to eradicate.
When a child does something wrong, you're supposed to discipline that child.
So you say
but to children of this generation,
you listen, you don't judge. I will judge, you say, you listen, you don't judge. Besides that, sir, you see, when these children were growing up, they were given this orientation that I am your father, I am your mother, I am the only person, I should be the only person that has a moral right to discipline you. And that's bad. Let these children know that all parents in this vicinity are your parents.
Even adults. Not
adults, they
necessarily
have the right
parents.
to discipline you in my absence. When I was growing up, something happened. I went home to tell my father that a teacher has flogged me in school. He said, okay, the next morning we'll go. He followed me to school. And when we got there, he took the cane himself and flogged me again right in front of the teacher. These were adults in unity. Adults having a meeting over me that I don't even know about. Their primary aim there was, this child must not go wayward. Now that I am an adult, I used to think like, okay, could it be the reason why my dad have to flog me again? You know, that sends a message. The message was, you are safe in his hands and don't misbehave because I'm your father. I'll flog you again. But these days, we've seen parents that will follow their children to school and start constituting nuisance. Some of them will not even ask. You'll be telling your child right from the home that your teacher will die today. You are giving that child an impression that he or she can disrespect
an elder and
get away with it. I'm your mother, I will always fight for you. You are creating a small problem that will blossom into a bigger one in society tomorrow. A child you couldn't discipline today will end up in prison. And they'll start crying. Discipline your child. Teach these children societal value. The values, one of the values I will hold tenaciously to in Africa is respect. They should be respectful. Leave this idea of we are in a civilized world, this is a computer age. And in America, you don't touch a child like that, they'll call the police on trust Nigeria police. Okay. They'll be very quick to tell you, no, it's not like that. You must respect your parents and all that. So that is one of the factors. Okay. Though there are other factors. The other factors that we have this single motherhood and fatherhood. It's also a contributing factor.
Broken homes.
A broken home. Now, if a child is coming from a broken home, that parental care, love will not be there. Of course, it's not easy for one person to train up a child.
Okay.
You need a father figure, you need a mother figure, and this person is not there. Definitely it will affect the child's psychology, and that will metamorphose into an adult that will be antisocial,
okay,
or that will be maladjusted in society.
All right.
So that is another angle.
Okay, once again, it's the Guys Hangout Show, and tonight we're taking a look at the issue of the lack of parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What is the difference between the way it used to be and the way it is now? Now, Abu, in closing, I just wanted to give a word of advice to parents out there who are not living up to expectation in terms of disciplining their child. Those who think, letting their child get away with everything they do is a sign of love. What's your advice for them? In less than,
They shouldn't be just a father or a mother.
Okay.
They should be parents. And parenting is not an easy job.
Okay.
If you are capable of giving birth to a child, you should be able to take good care of that child. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to discipline your child.
Don't be scared to discipline your child. I guess that's the parting word for tonight. I want to say a big thank you to you, Abu, for taking out time.
Thank you, my brother.
Time to be with us on the show today. And of course, to every one of you out there who have created time to be with us. I hope you've taken something away from tonight's discourse. Of course, the most important thing to take away from this is parenting is serious business. All right? So the moment you decide to become a parent, just have it in mind that the future of that child lies in your hands. If that child is going to grow up to become a responsible person, it's totally up to you. And of course, it's up to the adults that child is surrounded by. So another thing that Abu said in the course of his analysis is that parenting doesn't just end with you as a parent. You should also give the adults around your child the responsibility of raising your child, just like it was in the olden days. Don't have this mindset that you are the only one who has the responsibility of taking care of that child. My name is Harry Aigbo-J, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do ensure you do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Do have yourself a lovely night rest.
RTV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Anthony, Anthony, abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́. Àyàbá tó gé, abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́. Àlàyé àtọ́jú, abẹ́rẹ́ tó pẹ́. Ẹgbẹ̀júwà.
ITV, certainly the best.
Hello there, thank you for joining us on this special interview series on independent television. And I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Our guest today on the program is the Ambassador of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. As a matter of fact, the Ambassador of the European Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, His Excellency Ambassador Gauthier Mignon. Thank you for obliging us your time.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation, sir.
Okay, how would you describe your presence in Benin so far? Is this your first time in Benin City?
Actually, it's my second time, but I came in a private visit the first time because I hadn't presented my credentials yet to Mr. President, so I could not engage officially by the time. So this time it's the first official visit. And I came really with an intention to see how, to review the cooperation we are having with Edo State and to try to see how we can scale it up. But I took the opportunity to visit yesterday to participate to a private preview of the Museum of West African Arts here in Edo State, which is a project that I already saw last year when I came first to Benin City.
Also, so how would you describe the level of partnership between the European Union and, of course, Nigeria, and particularly Edo State?
Well, with Nigeria, the European Union, together with its member states and its development banks, what we call Team Europe, I think is the first partner, is Nigeria's first partner in many areas, in trade and investment in particular, and also in cooperation in many areas. And we have 730 million euros in grants for bilateral cooperation with Nigeria between 2041 and 2027, plus also sizable amounts of loans, subsidized loans. And with Edo State, we've had good cooperation in several areas. I'm thinking in particular of support to migration governance and support to stranded migrants returning to Nigeria, and many of them are from Edo State. And in the last few years, we supported more than 23,000 people to come back and reintegrate into their communities nationally, and many of them in Edo State, just to name an example. So voilà, we think we can do more in other areas. We're also working in digital economy, in renewable energy, and also in projects for communities. But I always come with states so important like Edo State with an idea of how to try to improve and strengthen what we are doing already.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, particularly through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program.
All right. What is the policy thrust of the European Union in terms of opportunities for young people as it relates to education?
Well, for us, education is key, and young people are a cross-cutting priority in a country like Nigeria. So in all our projects, we integrate a dimension for young people and also for women. And in particular, as far as young people are concerned, we are funding a big national project called Nigeria Jubilee Fellowship Program. It's about helping young graduates to integrate into labor markets by funding a 12-month scholarship for having internships in medium and small size enterprises or public service to get a first professional experience. And this is something that we are now scaling up with the federal government. And we are also offering possibilities of studies in Europe, in particular through the Erasmus program. We have more than 100 Nigerians going every year to Europe to study a master in the framework of the Erasmus program in particular.
Fantastic. If you just join us, we have with us the ambassador of the European Commission delegation to Nigeria and Africa, who is in Edo State currently on a private visit, engaging him on a wide range of issues, looking at the partnership between the Commission and Nigeria, and particularly Edo State. Ambassador Mignot, let me quickly take you on a trending issue in Nigeria right now, which has to do with violence, extremism, and the talk around genocide against Christians is gaining momentum across the world, particularly in the US and several other places. What's the Commission's perspectives on this issue, and what is the intention in terms of helping Nigeria to deal with banditry, Boko Haram, and all other extremism that we're seeing playing up in the country right now?
I think it's important not to exaggerate or oversimplify situations which are very complex in Nigeria in terms of violence and insecurity. Of course, it's a big concern for everybody, including for us. We are very much committed with freedom of religion and belief in particular, and of course, any attack against communities or individuals because of their religion must be condemned, unacceptable. But at the same time, we stand in solidarity with Nigeria, with the victims of the attacks, of course, and with the overwhelming majority of Nigerians who are willing to coexist peacefully beyond ethnic or religious differences. And so we stand in solidarity with Nigeria to fight the many drivers of violence and insecurity, and religion is only one of them. And we've been supporting Nigeria for many years through many projects of peace building, of de-radicalization, demobilization of former members of non-state armed groups, for instance. And we are ready to do more. The European Union some 12 years ago received the Nobel Prize for Peace. And so we always feel the necessity to be up to this great distinction that we received, to work on peace building, to work also and strengthen our relationship on security and defense with Nigeria, but in a spirit of partnership and of respect for Nigeria's sovereignty.
Fantastic. You're here specifically because of the Museum of West African Arts, MOA, which of course was launched just a few days ago. But what's your take on the current issues surrounding the Museum of West African Arts, particularly against the background of some of the things that happened there, during the inauguration of the center? You were there.
I was there. It was not an inauguration of the museum, actually. Okay. It was just a private preview. Okay. Because the organizer, I think, very wisely decided, as there were some criticisms, to postpone the formal inauguration of the museum. They announced this already a few days ago. And so yesterday was just a private preview for partners, friends, diplomats like myself and other European ambassadors. The EU has no direct involvement in this project. We are not funding this project. We might do it in the future because we want to partner more with museums and cultural institutions in West Africa and Nigeria, but we have no direct involvement so far. So I came here really to see the advancement of this very wonderful project I discovered last year when I came first, which is a great opportunity for Edo State, for Nigeria, and for West Africa. It's a West African museum. It's not about only Benin or Edo State or Nigeria even. It's West African. And I must say that the experience that we had yesterday was quite unpleasant and deplorable because this private event on a private property was disrupted by so-called protesters who came in, allowed by the police, because there was security all around, but they left them in. And they disrupted the whole event. So it's exactly how you scale off. You scale off investors and development partners coming in good faith, to partner with your community. And Germany, for instance, has invested 8.5 million euros in this project. If now they see that this project cannot operate normally, the conclusions will be quite clear, not only for Germany but for all European stakeholders.
Fantastic. Let's look at a general issue that relates to the involvement of the Western world in Africa in terms of development, in terms of partnership, in terms of insecurity. Talking about partnership, we're seeing the European Union, for example, always disposed to giving loans to African countries, Nigeria inclusive. The perspective of these loans being a trap for developing countries, underdeveloped countries. What are your thoughts? What's the Commission perspectives on this?
Well, this is a trap where we felt collectively, the lenders and our African partners 30 years ago, and we had at the time to pardon part of this debt, to do a whole work to get out of this situation. So now, through, in particular, our new cooperation strategy, which is called the Global Gateway Strategy, we are very attentive not to fall again into this trap. So we limit the level of indebtedness of partner countries. We give subsidized loans. We don't want to fall again into this trap. And what we are seeing with concern is that African countries, some of them, are falling again into this situation with other lenders, not the European Union, because we've learned from our first experience. So this is why now we work very much with financial instruments, blending loans with grants, for instance, subsidized loans which create revenues for the country, so making sure that they can be reimbursed. So it's really a point we are very attentive to.
On a global scale, we've seen the disappearance of peace, so to speak, at the global level. I mean, the Hamas-Israeli crisis there's a ceasefire, there's some sort of agreement, but we're still seeing some measure of violence. We saw recently the RSF activities in Sudan, particularly in Al-Fasher. That crisis is still going on. And these activities or events that are unfolding globally that undermines peace globally, what's your perspective of the fact that it's like the world is hamstrung in terms of dealing with these issues, nipping them at the bud before it blossoms, it flourishes, snowballs into huge crisis like you're seeing now in Sudan? Hunger is there. In Hamas, there's starvation, there's poverty, and all of these issues happening. Why is it so difficult for the world leaders to have a consensus in terms of how they can collectively respond to these issues?
Because we have collective rules in the United Nations Charter, international law. And what we have seen over the last 10 years or so is that very important players have not respected these rules. Take the case of Russia in particular.
Yeah, Russia and Ukraine.
The Russian invasion to Ukraine, which started in fact in 2014, then it became full scale in 2022. Then we, each from a permanent member of the Security Council, a country which is supposed to be a guarantor of these rules, then it shows that everybody can do anything and violates international law without punishment. And so this is why it's so important, and that is why the European Union insisted so much that all countries in the world had to condemn the Russian invasion to Ukraine. And most countries, including Nigeria, have done that. But others, including large democracies, have not done so.
When you say large democracy, are you talking about the US?
The US has done so, but others have not. And then, other crises also popped up. And then when the law starts to be broken here and there, it just becomes contagious.
Ambassador Gotna Migno, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate this conversation.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I've been talking with Ambassador Mignot, who is the head of the European delegation to Nigeria and Africa. Is currently in Edo State on a visit, and we've been engaging him on a wide range of issues. Thank you for staying with us, and have a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Ogbedo Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Ogbedo Onwonse, visited the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion, at his Okada country home residence to pay homage and appreciate him for all he has done in the development of the community, which has placed Okada in world map. They also thanked him for his role in the success of their ceremony. They commended the Esama of Benin as a custodian of Benin cultural heritage and for revitalizing the age-long tradition of the age-grade ceremony.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
What a wonderful day. Good afternoon. It is 60 minutes Nigeria, and of course, Erusa Agbolao is my name. It promises to be another exciting New Year package. And I must also admit that I have very distinguished personalities with me today to dissect the topic we have. I have with me a very renowned clergyman, a farmer, an entrepreneur, and a man of repute, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. Nice to have you today.
God bless you. Happy New Year once again.
Okay, we also have with us an educationist, a politician, a former governorship candidate in Edo State, Dr. Bishop Akalame.
Good
nice
afternoon.
To have you.
Good afternoon, international. Good afternoon, viewers.
You're all welcome. So we are looking at insecurity. We're looking at what Edo State government is doing as regards tackling insecurity, the challenges, and of course, the trust. Do the people still have trust in government? If you ask me, I will admit that the governor of Edo State, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, has been one of the busiest governors in Edo State recently because of the insecurity in Edo Central Senatorial District. Very disturbing kidnappings to the extent that students took to the streets. But we've heard now that it's not just students, that we have hoodlums who hijacked a protest, became violent. Now, but there was a protest in Ekpoma over the death of a student of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma. In Edo North, a medical doctor was also kidnapped and died. But the good news is that his brother, the other medical doctor, was released yesterday. Well, this program coincides with the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. And we must say, we salute the armed forces. We salute all security agencies. And we honor the fallen heroes. Today is very special. These fallen heroes will continue to honor them because they did all they could and died in the line of duty just to save Nigeria. But insecurity is still ravaging the country. It's still disturbing the peace of Nigeria. But we'll dovetail to Edo State, and we'll be starting from the home front, and from Edo State, we'll now talk about what is happening at the national level. Let's start with Dr. Bishop Akalame. He's a politician, and he knows the nitty-gritty of Edo State. Now, looking at how busy the governor is now, because from his own senatorial district, there's crisis, there's insecurity, and he's doing everything to tackle it. And he just told us now that technology has been procured, because on this program, we also talked about the need for Edo State government to acquire technological gadgets that can help the state in tackling insecurity. And he said a drone was used recently and success was recorded. So what's your opening remarks?
Thank you, International.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, viewers. You see, this is a very serious matter.
Yes.
That must not be handled with levity. Because if a state must develop, the first thing we must look at is the place secured? Because no one would like to invest in a place that is not secured. Security has become a cancer to attacking the growth and development of this country, not just Edo State. We must not also forget to appreciate the efforts of the state government, Edo State government. No one can say that the governor has not made efforts to secure the good people of this state. Yeah. On this note, we must say thank you for the effort you have made so far.
Okay.
We cannot also forget to appreciate our security agencies, even in our difficult situation, in our difficult conditions. They work daily to ensure that the people are secured. You know, when a man has too much trouble, if you solve one, it's as if you have not even started. That is where we have find ourselves. The insecurity in Edo State has become unprecedented. It has, although even the time of Obaseki, it was like this, though some measures were put in place to ameliorate the situation to a level that we now say, okay, we cannot breathe. You know, when there's a change of government, a change of leadership, there are changes that go with it. So that is why I don't even need to be patient, because I have seen with my optical eyes the effort the government, the state government have made. Because blaming the government alone in this situation is as if we are forgetting our role as patriotic citizens of Edo State. Because security is a collective responsibility. You, and I. Whatever the government is doing today, I will keep saying this, I will continue to say this, the government is fighting symptoms. The problem we face today started from the family units, which have metamorphosed into a problem we can no longer handle. How will you think, as a father, you have a son who is very 50 to 40 years, 50, 40 years, 60 years, come home, drive a very expensive car, say, Daddy, I bought a car. This is a child that's supposed to be in secondary school, writing WAEC. Now, you clap for that child. You don't even know the source. Now, the child will test a source. The source has blocked. You begin to explore more sources to maintain that standard. So, you cannot see that the problems we are having emanated from our families. So when we not create the problems, then we will not be crying, oh, that the government has failed us. You as a parent, you give birth to children, 10 children, you don't even know how they grow up in the society. You just give birth to children, some of them will just go out, they rent their houses at the age of 10, 15 years, they will not come home. Once they enter university, they are gone, they are not coming home again. And you don't, there's no good parenting. Many of the boys you have today, they grow up practically on their own. No guardian, no support.
Don't you think it's because society has failed them?
Which society?
That these youths feel that what they even want in life, the essentials of life, they are unable to get it, and so they are beginning to think out of the box. We are not tackling the situation. Okay.
Now, as a father, you are coming. You know the number of children you can take care of.
Yes.
Okay, 2 or 3. Call your wife. You can take care of 3. You raise them, give them good education. Go to University of Benin, or possibly you can send them to Canada, anywhere. Yeah. You know you can give them good education according to your financial capacity. Now they are now out. As a father, who was never lazy, maybe you have 1 or 2 business, that even when they cannot get a job, there's a place you can say, oh, I'm getting older, you can take over from there. You think that child will go and involve in kidnapping?
No.
Do you think that child will go and doing Yahoo?
No.
The children are growing up on their own. They want to meet up. If you go to the church, if you don't have money, you don't see the first. They see this thing with their optical eyes. They see that in society, those who are respected are people we have with financial muscle. People have this money. And not so people are no longer asking questions when you make your money. People are no longer interested in the value you are adding, the value you are creating. What they are after is, does he have money? So the youth are not growing up to see that no, people are not asking questions, the source of your income, but rather, does he have money? It's okay. See, people are no longer interested in the sources of this money. Let's do anything we like to make money. Can't you see that kidnapping has become a lucrative business in Nigeria? It is the society, the family. They will create the problem. We are looking for government to become God overnight to solve our problems. I keep saying this. The government will keep solving what? Symptoms. Why the family have to go to the root and solve this problem, so we can have a very secure society.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Bishop Akalame will come back to you. We also have a leader of congregation, a leader of people with us, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. You saw the footage, the video footage, the protests in Ekpoma, crippled socioeconomic activities there because they protested against the death of one of their students. And we also saw what happened in Edono, the kidnap of a doctor, you know, and it's very, very, very touching. What's your reaction?
Well, as I always said, security business is for everybody. The government need to go and employ and empower our local vigilante who understand this area very well, the native of these people, the person in charge. This man is from Ekpoma, you be in charge of Ekpoma. He know the look and corner of Ekpoma, all the route in Ekpoma. He know how to handle it. After that, the parent have to be advising their children. As I said before, I told that last time, I said, give birth to what you can take care of. Yeah. Life's not a competition. Now, if the government have not able to empower our vigilante, the police, the soldier, they brought now to calm the situation. After a while, they all left and went back to their station. But that place need to have vigilante. The government to empower them, give them things to live with, and these guys know these people and they know how to deal with them. And this issue of kidnapping is long overdue. It has become a business. People need to eat, even they have a sponsor. And I tell people, they say there is no foreigner that will enter your bush that will be able to stay there comfortable without having a connection with an indigene. No foreigner. And that foreigner is succeeding in that way because an indigene is involved, collecting some percentage with the foreigner and operating dimension. And most of these things they are also people also sponsoring this issue one or the other to affect the government of the day because you know how politics we play in Nigeria is that it's political of interest. But if they want to solve insecurity, they should recruit the local vigilante, make sure they are indigenous of that place, they are the people that know that place, they are part of that environment, they will be able to fish out these people and the government to empower them and make sure those guys are not under political structure. Do your work freely. You see, these people can deliver, but by the time you bring them under government and say, okay, this party is set it up, they won't deliver. But when you pick them by yourself as a governor of the state and say, you are from Ekpoma, you are from Irua, you are from Esako, then protect this place, empower them. I give my word, it will be less than 3 months or 4 months of this year, you see this issue will be calm. But as far as the government is bringing police, and tell you they are doing well, but when they leave that place, the DJ who are also benefiting from this nonsense going on, they will also give them information because without informer, you can carry out some dangerous movement.
Thank you very much, Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. The Grand Norm states that it is the responsibility of government to provide security of lives and property. But my guests have posited that the issue of security has to do with everyone. We should not just focus on only government. You see something, you say something. And you know, a policeman told me at just today while I was driving in one particular area, and he said, help us talk. You know, he mentioned a rank, and he was saying that they earn 150,000. I shouted, I screamed. I said, oh, he said he has children, you know. So, government must also take care of the welfare of the police. The police need to be encouraged because these are persons who risk their lives to give us security. Their salary must be increased. Their allowances must be increased. What stop even the Edo State government, for instance, in Edo State, you have a catering unit that will be supplying food to the vigilantes and the policemen who are strategically positioned. They will know that, oh, so time in the afternoon, the catering department of the state government will bring their lunch. So they don't need to leave that position. The lunch will come so that they can be focused. It will help. It looks ordinary, but it will help. Well, Dr. Bishop Akalame, yeah, you've made a very valid point, but government cannot be exonerated. Government need to play its role. Some persons have talked about state police. Well, that has to come from the national. We've seen Lagos State. You saw some policemen from Lagos State. Look at how well kitted they are. You know, so all the different agencies, the DSS, the police, the civil defense, they need to be well, you know, taken care of and encouraged. And, you know, the state government has provided vehicles to the security agencies recently. What is the oversight function of the state government? Are they monitoring the deployment of those vehicles? Are they monitoring the usage of those vehicles? So you can't really remove the government. So I know you have more to say on this.
Thank you.
Okay.
You see, I've been issue.
Yes.
I have not actually taken the responsibility of the government in saving life and property out of the context. What I was trying to deposit is that we shouldn't leave the issue of security for the government alone, that it is collective. Yes, we have a problem, a very serious problem. So if we have this problem, as we are addressing the way it should be addressed, then we also address the way it will be eliminated permanently. Because on the part of the government we're talking about, that's why I told you, the government will continue to fight sectors. But the root, how to deal with the people. Now, what would the government need to do, of which I know the government is doing already, is one, there must be an improved community policy, like the bishop posited. Yeah. Stronger, very strong community policy. Let me take you to history. What happened during Obaseki? There was time, any time I want to travel to Agenebode for during Christmas or anything, that's my area, that's okay. East. I have to embark on prayers. Sometimes 7 days. Sometimes I have to go to the Catholic Church, go and sit there with Blessed Mother Mary, pray. Say the parish priest, pray for me, I want to travel.
Just to your village?
Yeah, to tell you how scared it was.
This is terrible.
There are some flash areas that when you are driving, your heart has to be here. There's a place called Obehi. The last December, the last Christmas, not this one, the other one, when I traveled, I have to turn like 3 times. I say I'm not going again until I see a vehicle coming or going. Then I have to wait when I see a cover coming. I followed. That's to tell you the fear. Then I will be in my community. Those my guys following me politically will invite me to a function in their various areas. I will not go. I will just remain in my village until I want to travel back to Benin. That is the level we have gotten to. We know we have this problem. We have this challenge. So what the government needs is support. We need to support the government. Suggest ideas to the government on how we can get out of this trouble. The trouble we created by ourselves. Those kidnapping, they are not foreigners. Are they not our people that are kidnapping themselves? Or are they lions and tigers that are kidnapping human beings? No human being kidnapping human beings. Human beings are started eating themselves because of greed, material things, that when you die, they will never bury with you. So, we will suggest to the state governor, Governor Modi Okpebholo, that there should be a stronger community policing. So, what I want to try to tell you is that when Obaseki now came, you have to empower the vigilante. So, when you're not driving on this Benin, Auchi, when you get to Urumide or Ekpo, before Ekpoma, you see them. When you're there, when you see there, you'll be happy driving. You know, that all these guys are here. At a time, you were no longer afraid.
Yes.
But it is changed. But I know that the governor is listening. Community policing. Because these are people who know the terrain. They cannot go into the forest with bare hand because these guys inside the bush are very dangerous. So they need to be empowered. You cannot be pursuing a man with AK-47 with ordinary knife and cutlass, and you have a family. Because if you die, nobody will take care of your children. So they know these things. So that's why the government have to strengthen them, support. That apart, government have to invest in infrastructures that support security.
Yeah.
Then, irrespective of your political affiliation, as long as you are a political leader in Edo State, we have to make this a collective a responsibility, a collective call for everyone to support, to ensure that Edo people are secured. The governor has to initiate a frequent and a regular engagement. The traditional rulers, political leaders, political parties, of course, then the security agencies. Engage them. I remember some time ago, a deputy governor of this state make a pronouncement that if you are inside the forest, leave, I give you 7 days to leave. I give you 7 days to leave the forest. Leave our forest. If you are looking for where to stay, go and rent a house. The forest is not a place to stay. It's for farmers. So, even when we are discussing all these things, we will not forget that we have a challenge. We have challenges. We have problems. I will feel you go to those that will go to the village. Your mother will give you gari, put it in your boots, come back home. Now you go to the village, then you'll be looking for gari to buy in the village. To tell you that the farmers are no longer going to farm. This security I fear most is food insecurity. When hunger comes, it's even worse than what kidnapping you are seeing today. When you don't see gari to drink, you can't see all those food to eat. That is the area we are going. And I don't pray for us to get there. So, everyone, whether you are in Zen Labour Party, you are in the APC, you are in the PDP, irrespective of the political platform, let's support the government to see how we can ensure that the people are secured.
Thank you. Bishop Lucky, the way forward.
The way forward is very simple. The government, the Edo State government, should raise up the local vigilante.
Okay.
Put it, build them, give them all necessary support that we make this guy work well, so that they can do their job. You cannot send a hungry man to go and work; he will not work. So that when at the end of the month, be hoping that something will come out to support his family. And we that they also guided with the citizen, we should be giving them good information. We should not spoil the job for them and become aiding and abetting kind of thing. We should be able to tell the Vilama, hey, this person that is in my area, I don't understand what he's doing for a living, don't understand the way he comes, he goes out by 5, come back by 10 o'clock. You should know the movement so they can get this political. They live among us, they dwell with us, they know us, but we don't understand what they do for a living.
Thank you very much. We'll take a break now, but just to quickly inform our viewer, members of the public, that you can participate in this program via telephone. You can make calls and contribute because, yes, government of Edo State, the governor of Edo State, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, is really worried, and we can see the way he's putting things in order to ensure that insecurity is tackled. But my guests have advised members of the public to support government. That is not only government that can do it. You have a role to play. They've also said it is important for the community policing to be emphasized. The vigilantes in the villages should be made up of people from that community. That's what my guests have said, that they need to be strengthened financially, materially, and otherwise. If you want somebody to go and risk his life, the question is, what is in it for him? What is he going to gain? So you need to let this, you can insure them, you can do insurance for them, and they will see that, oh, they have been insured. If they die, their family will be taken care of. Today is Armed Forces Remembrance Day. We respect the fallen heroes. So, the vigilantes, the police, the DSS, the military, there should be encouragement for them. We need to mobilize them the more. We'll talk about technology later on, but you can also contribute. But that will be after this break. Okay, nice to have you on the program 60 Minutes Nigeria. Later on, we are going to allow members of the public to call in and also make their views known. But that will be later on. Well, I must say that recently the protests in Ekpoma was actually a wake-up call for youths to take to the streets of Ekpoma. It means they were pained. They couldn't bear it again. Yes, some persons took advantage of a peaceful protest and turned it to a violent one. Of course, security agencies are dealing with such situations, but we must commend Governor Monday Okpebholo for approving the release of students of AAU from detention, because these are future leaders. But he said they must identify themselves. Yes, they should have student ID card to identify themselves. Our students must be protected, must be encouraged, because the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Okay, Dr. Akalame, yes, you have actually said community policing must be strengthened. Do you think that traditional rulers should also be involved in this security arrangement?
Of course. That is why I mentioned that there should be a frequent engagement between the government, the traditional rulers, political party leaders, then security agencies. Because the traditional rulers, they have a vital role to play in securing their territory. Some time ago, I also mentioned that if you see all the herdsmen you see today, the cattle railers in the bush, the traditional rulers, some of the traditional rulers know them, know their leaders. There was a time a traditional ruler in a particular community have to order that the leaders of these people have to appear in his palace. I say, please, I'm tired. Tell your men to leave our forest. So you now see the power. The traditional rulers have roles to play in this. They have roles to play. So the traditional rulers have to work with the security agencies, work with the government, work with everyone to ensure that their kingdom is what is secured. You see, that they have a vital role to play in securing their domain. So that is why we must not shy away from the fact that government has to engage them. So that is what I mentioned in the beginning. So that the issue of security, like I said before, is a collective responsibility. Everybody have to come. Let's come to the drawing board and see how we can secure the people. Because you are sleeping, you are afraid. In my community, there was a time I got an info that when you are not sleeping, when you don't need to even sleep anymore. That the youth were now working from morning till night. You don't need to sleep, so you'll not be caught unaware. That is the situation we have find ourselves. So we have to work together to see how we can keep this low, because it will affect economic activities. And once it affects economic activities, hunger will set in, and when hunger sets in, death is inevitable.
Thank you very much. Bishop Lucky Omonabia say traditional rulers in different communities, even in Edo State, can play a vital role.
Yes, sir.
So you think government should begin to think along that line?
Yes.
I can maybe create a system where traditional rulers in different communities, even these youth leaders called Okayele, can also be involved.
See, thank you, sir. See, government will have to call a town hall meeting. Invite all traditional rulers, invite this Okayele, the Ojonwole, everybody should be involved, because so that it will be able to work with them and secure the community, the farmers and the rest. Because this Okayele understood the farm, their community better than any other person. They use their voice to work. If you think I'm joking, if you think I'm joking, if you go to lay foundation now, from nowhere you see people appear, yes. And they appear from nowhere. Yes. Then if you now engage them, give them an ultimatum. This committee, I put it in your hand. If I heard any news that is funny, he will be dealt with. He will be called for questioning. And the Okaigele now empower his boys, make him understand. By the time he's empowered, he will understand that, hey, I have a need to protect my integrity and all. He will not let anything go wrong in that community. They know, this is your community, your kingdom. I have empower people to work with you. If I heard anything that's not correct, I'll become a question. For you know, this area will die down because most of these are people these cattle people carry cattle up and down in these villages and all. Most of them, if you interview them one-on-one, sir, you hear that they say it's not their cattle, they are working for our people. Who's our people? So say this cattle belong to AYZ, BYZ. Now, meaning the people equation, the very cattle from north, and people will buy from their hand and employ them to work for them. Then when you report the day, if you now until your government have to bring it to involve, then you saw this will die down because until you involve them, it will not work. Because by the time you involve them, they will feel unconcerned. They need to be involved.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take another brief break now. After this break, we allow members of the public to call in and make their views known. We are looking at the security challenges in Edo State. Do people still trust government to provide security for them? Or is it that everyone needs to find a way to secure his or her life? The grand norm states that it is the responsibility of the government to provide security for lives and property. So after this break, we'll allow phone in so you can make your contribution. It's always a delight to have you back. The phone number is displayed now. You can see the phone number there on your screen. You can call in, make your contributions. Just the way I've always said on this program, do not insult anybody. Just make your views known, because the problems that we face does not recognize anybody. So everyone must be involved to tackle the problem. Edo State belongs to every one of us. We must support the government of the day to ensure that there's adequate security of lives and property. So the phone number is there. You can call in and make your contribution. Okay, Bishop Akalame, there's an issue of these people clamoring for state police to complement the normal police force that we have, because the issue of inadequate manpower is something some persons have been talking about, that Nigerian police need to get more, they need to carry out more recruitment. But before that is done, that there's need for state police, that the state governors, they have security votes. They can use that security vote to take on security. Okay, we have our very first caller. Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Joseph. I'm coming from Olia Quarter.
Okay, please reduce the volume of your TV set. Then go on with your points.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is I'm very grateful for what you are saying. And the people with you, I congratulate. I don't want your politician who just plays one side. What they are saying is very true, that government have tried, and we have to use all those traditional leaders, and the police also have to be equipped and give amenities, help them in their salary and other things. Not that the police cannot do it. The problem is that the situation we are in, everybody is looking for money, as you say. And really, everybody. And then because of that,
okay.
They believe that the way they should bring money, they just let this family rich, let them have enough money to use. And because they don't ask anything about how you get the money. So that's the problem we are just facing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. that caller from Olia, Benin City, Edo State. Thank you very much. Other residents, viewer, you can make your contribution because those in authority, they are listening, they are watching, and you could just be the man that have the magic wand that can help in tackling insecurity that is bedeviling Edo State and Nigeria. We have a second caller. Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Your name, where are you calling from? Okay, I think network problem just affected that. Okay, so state policing, Dr. Akalame, is it really important?
You see, the state policing we are talking about emanated from the fact that there is need for us to get against youth who understand their community. Because the normal police we have, they don't actually understand this terrain.
Okay, thank you. We'll continue with you, but we have a second caller. Good afternoon. Where are you calling from? Oh, network problem. Please continue, Dr.
Yes,
Akalame.
because it's just like what we are canvassing, that there should be community policing, which the vigilante has taken over. So what I expect the government, what I want to canvass here is that will be a duplication of effort.
Okay.
What the government should do is that they should channel that energy in empowering our vigilante. These guys are superb. Just give them the support, pay them, equip them, they will do the job. They will give that support to the security agencies. So because if we divert our attention from empowering the local vigilante and create state policy, that is going to be duplication of effort. That will take much of our resources.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm Professor Ifeanyi Atu. I'm calling from Benin City.
Okay, Professor. What's your comment?
What I want to advise is that at the moment, the best security that you will have is yourself. Everybody should be very careful because it appears things are already falling apart, and the security agencies, they are not coping as we expected them to cope. So everybody should be on the watch out and be very careful of the kind of places they find themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. Wonderful comment. What Professor has just said is that you must first of all ensure your own security. You must take your own security seriously. If you see something, say something. So don't move anyhow. If you used to stay out late, this time you have to think twice before you remain outside your home very late at night. You must know where you drive through. It mustn't be a lonely place. Things like that. Those are just security tips just to help you. Well, Dr. Akalame has said that he is not in support of state police, but rather the funds for state police should be channeled to the local vigilantes, especially in Edo State, so that they can be empowered in terms of ammunition, salaries, and all of that. Okay, we have another caller. Good afternoon. Your name, where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Wosa. How are you?
I'm fine. Your name, where are you calling from?
This is Honorable Akmotai from the Steel community.
Oh, thank you, Honorable. Your comments.
And may I create your solidarity to say hello to Akalame there.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You don't know me again now. Let me first carry your mama report or your last.
Please, this is a live show. It's a live show. Can you just go straight to the point, please?
Yes, I know. I'm not for breaking me out that way. If you break my frequency, it does not stop me from saying what I have to say.
Okay.
They said, if you are not breaking my frequency, I would have people give you to come and echo me. Look at the water now. We are talking about insecurity. People in the diaspora are looking at you now. Would they take the problem in this country? You used to be a very slim man, Mr. Wosa. Look how very fast and plumpy you are now. That is just by the way there. There is consensus among the people that security should be something that is a general effort. We can never make any headway. When you provided. But we know the truth are the obvious, sir, that the people, if the government of the day, sir, decide today that insecurity will stop in this country, before 24 hours be eradicated. But they know what they are doing. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, sir? That is my question. And everybody's asking the same question. Nobody's providing answer to it. I beg.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I must commend the Honorable that just called now. He's actually also very worried, just like every one of us. He believes that those who are really sponsoring insecurity, they know themselves, and some of them are highly placed persons. That's what he's talking about. But the problem now is, how do you get the evidence to actually nail them? That's what he's saying. Well, government must come in. That is a fact. Government must evolve strategies to help the security agencies who are saddled with the responsibility of effecting arrests. And once they arrest, they investigate and they prosecute. I'm sure. There are so many people. When you visit Oko, you're talking about the prisons in Benin, at Oko in Benin City, Edo State. You'll be surprised to see many persons, they are all there. Okay, Bishop Amonabiese.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the way forward now, you have talked about the need for vigilante, you've talked about the need for people in the various communities to be involved.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you, but let's just take this caller. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, your name, and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Onyebuchi, and I'm calling all the way from Lagos. I'm seeing your view from this on YouTube.
Thank you very much. Please go on, all the way from Lagos State. Thank you. Go on.
Okay. My own contribution to this is, when it comes to insecurity, every area there is an insecurity challenge there. According to the Nigerian Constitution, you have it's within an enclave, a ward. And in that ward, you have councillors, you have local government chairmen, you have, before you go to the executive, when these things happen, these people at the various wards, they can create some form of security, like vigilante, community policing. Before you get to the executive, these people can come together, go to the different locations where they are insecure, where they are sure that who are these new different people in our community. Because your spaces look new, when they can profile them and they see new identity there, they can be able to attack this insecurity. But when they count the words, they are being silent, from councillors to local government chairmen within a particular local government, they are not being able to handle this thing themselves. It comes to serious attention, you know. So to me, I feel before they take this into the executive, let these men at the grassroots form community other than the main vigilante. Let them form community security among themselves. They tell everybody that stays in a ward. Then when such things happen, when they see new identities around the community, they can be able to accuse or go after them. That is my own contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's actually our last caller, all the way from Lagos State. Don't forget that this program is being streamed online, and we have viewers all the way from the UK, the US, Canada, all over the world and around the country. From Lagos State, we just got that caller who said he's actually viewing this program online on YouTube, and he got the phone number and called in, and he made very valid points. He's saying that councillors are supposed to be our representative at the grassroots. What are they doing? It's not only governor we'll be talking about. He's saying that councillors, we have councillors at the wards, councillors at the local level. What are they doing? That's what the caller from Lagos State has just said, and that is an important aspect that I think government must look at. Your concluding remarks, Bishop Loke.
Well, I support the idea of the bishop.
Okay.
that we should channel all resources to state also police into local vigilante.
Okay.
And make sure people that we are putting to do the job are people, the indigenous of that community, not foreigners, so that the work can be easy. Then with the business that they are guiding, we should be giving them vital information that will help them carry the job perfectly.
Thank you very much. Concluding remarks, Dr. Akalame, quick one.
This to the parents. Teach your children that the only sure way to accumulating wealth revolves around the principles of accumulation. And I want to also say that security is a collective responsibility. If you see something, say something. With our collective effort, we will smile again in Edo State.
Thank you very much. I must thank my guests, Bishop Loke Ogbonnabia. Thank you very much.
You, sir.
Dr. Bishop Akalame, thank you very much. And of course, for those of you who called in, I'm grateful. That honorable from Isiho, thank you very much. You know, we have to do our best to look good, you should understand.
Looking good is a good business.
No matter what, even if you are sweating within, you have to smile. You know, one day things will be good. On that note, I say thanks for being a part. The team here, the crew working behind the scene, led by the PD, he has done a very, very great job. And of course, the engineering crew, I say thanks for being a part of the program. Bye-bye.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
ITV, certainly the best.
aṣáájú ẹ̀ abáàtọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀. Ayaba aṣáájú ẹ̀ abáàtọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀. Ojúde aṣáájú ẹ̀ abáàtọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀. Ayaba aṣáájú ẹ̀ abáàtọ́pẹ́ ẹ̀. Ọ̀dọ̀ yẹn.